Greetings here. We are February 25th, and I guess some people will say I'm back to my usual spot where I do my devotions. And we're looking at 1 Kings chapter 6, verse 1 to 7, and then jumping over to verses 11 to 14. 1 Kings chapter 6, verses 1 to 7, and then jumping over to 11 to 14, and using the New Living Translation. It was in mid-spring, in the month of Ziv, during the fourth year of Solomon's reign, that he began to construct the temple of the Lord. The temple that King Solomon built for the Lord was 90 feet long, 30 feet wide, 45 feet high. The entry room at the front of the temple was 30 feet wide. Running across the entire width of the temple, it projected outward 15 feet from the front of the temple. Solomon also made narrow recessed windows throughout the temple. He built a complex of rooms against the outer walls of the temple, all the way around the sides and rear of the building. The complex was 3 stories high, the bottom floor being 7.5 feet wide, the second floor 9 feet wide, and the top floor 10.5 feet wide. The rooms were connected to the walls of the temple by beams resting on ledges built up from the wall, so the beams were not inserted into the walls themselves. The stones used in the construction of the temple were finished at the quarry, so there was no sound of hammer, axe, or any other iron tool at the building site. Then the Lord gave this message to Solomon: concerning this temple you are building, if you keep all my decrees and regulations and all my commands, I will fulfill through you the promise I made to your father David. I will live among the Israelites and will never abandon my people Israel. So Solomon finished building the temple. And Angus Bushin has put together his devotions in the Bible in 366 days for men of faith, and he says, he entitles this devotion Finishing the Job. And he says, David was not appointed to build a temple, but he did start collecting what was needed for Solomon to build it. It is important to finish a job once we start it, and to finish it to the glory of God. One thing that strikes me as I read this passage was the promise of God. God always has conditions. Like 1 John 1:9 says, if we confess our sins, then God is faithful and just to forgive us of our sins and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. In 2 Chronicles chapter 6, the cry was mid-year by the prophet to God. And then God responds back in 2 Chronicles chapter 7 and verse 14. So, well, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and turn from the wicked ways, then I will hear what they ask for in 2 Chronicles chapter 6. And here comes the thing again, the condition from God. Well, if you promise to follow the decrees from your father, or the arrangement that I had with your father, the promises made, then I promise that I will live among you and I will never forsake you. Well, it is sometimes easy at first to make a promise to God, but then we realize that some of these are hard to keep, and they require a strong faith and strong determination. But the reward is that God will keep his side of the bargain. Yeah, and this is what I get today. Life is a struggle. The Christian life is challenging. And Jesus said it would be in Matthew chapter 5. And we just need to hold on a little longer And we need to believe that God will see us through, because this business that we are in, He called us into it. It's His business, and His business never fails. So let us encourage ourselves. Let's encourage ourselves that God is going to be with us. But let's make sure that He stays with us by living in the way that He wants us to live. That's the key for our success and to ensure the continued presence and power and promises of God. Blessings.